Good afternoon. I'm Cecilia Maundu. I'm a broadcast journalist. I'm a digital security trainer. I work at the intersection of technology and human rights. I have a podcast, Digital Dada, where I talk about things to do with cyber violence and how just to stay safe online. So today, we are starting the 16 days of activism, and there's no better day than to talk about the issue of violence. And we are talking about online violence. Before, violence was physical. Now it has moved online. And my guest, I couldn't have better guests to talk about this issue. So I'm going to start with the one on the right. Kindly introduce yourself, although I'm sure everyone knows you.
Hi, guys. My name is Lilian Muli. I am a TV personality, a media personality. I'm a journalist and, your friend. And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for honoring the invite. We feel very privileged. On my left is one of the greatest supporters. Everyone should have this person if you're a content creator. Digital Dada is very lucky to have you. Please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Ivy Namulindwa, better known as Ivy Namu. The second one is pretty long, so Namu is okay. I'm a digital strategist at Trail Media and Visasa. I'm a social media marketer and manager as well. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here.
We would have given all of you an opportunity to introduce yourself, but seriously, time is over. So just introduce yourselves on Twitter. Anyway, so the issue of online violence, we keep talking about online violence. And I remember when I started Digital Dada, somebody asked me, what do you mean by online violence? It's not violence. I mean, when I beat someone online, what harm is there? But online violence is real. It affects people, real people. And that's why we are creating awareness about this. We want to create safe spaces online, spaces where women like you will go there and feel like they have the freedom of expression, express what they feel, and not be worried that somebody will come after them. And also the digital space has so many benefits. It has an opportunity whereby you can make careers. But when we have a space where people are attacked, the last place you'd want to be part of is that. And that's why we have something called the digital gender divide. You find more men are online, more men are using the online space to advance themselves, while we are here getting worried about being attacked. And today I've invited these two personalities, and I'm going to start with Lilian Muli. As a journalist, I would like to know how you're using the online platform to create awareness and also as a tool for your work.
So first of all, just away from how I'm using my platform to create awareness, I'm very much aware that we live in a very artificial space where people have the desire for clicks and likes, and that has somehow taken the authenticity out of the things that people post online. So previously, my space, by the way, I have 1.5 million followers, but previously my account was very private. I just didn't want to be in a space where, people were all up in my business. And then I realized this is a platform where I can actually make a change and I can communicate to my constituents, quote unquote, who are the people who follow me. And so I opened it up to the public. And when I opened it up to the public, I was very intentional about the person that I wanted to be seen out there. So for me, for instance, I very happily engage in platforms such as these because I want to be a voice for young ladies out here, young men out here. So a lot of times what you'll see me posting is perhaps like, today I'm here, I'll definitely talk about it and why I needed to be here. I also put across very positive energy in that space because I realized that in as much as for now, my content is a lot of times commercial because I am an influencer, I also realized that there are a lot of people out here who just need a message of hope and encouragement, and away from me making money in this space and not putting my private life out there, I really like to engage positively. For instance, There's a young girl we did a story on. She's called Sandy Noma. She's 21. She lost a limb because she's got bone cancer. And you can imagine, so you're 21, you're in school, you're all about vibes, and then you have to lose your leg. So she's a TikToker. And so for me, her story was so powerful. So away from my broadcast journalism, all the content that I put out there that I feel deserves a space on my social media platform, I put out there because I want to spread so much positivity. There's just so much negative energy on this platform. And for me, I'm very intentional about spreading hope, spreading encouragement, even through the stories of people like Sandy.
Yeah, I remember I saw Sandy's, you and Sandy, and I was very intrigued. I'm not on TikTok, so I actually took a friend's phone to find out more about her. And I was very intrigued. And I think what came to my mind, I was like, oh, she's so positive with what she's going through. And we find ourselves wallowing in so much. And then you look at someone like this, they're actually making their life work. And then you feel embarrassed because you're not very grateful. And those are some of the things when you see online, you get so encouraged. Lilian, let me still get back to you. Let me cycle back. You talked about positivity. We've seen a lot of negativity online. And I would want to know, as somebody who is in the public eye, what do you think could be creating this?
I think people are angry. I think we live in times where people have a lot of unanswered questions, and there's a lot of competition between ourselves as well. There's a lot of judgment that is passed. But I think ultimately we're living in a society where I want to be better than you. I'm not there yet, and I want to get there, and so I'm going to pull you down because I'm not there yet. I think that's the only way I can answer that people are in themselves, not happy, not confident, not comfortable in their own skin, not celebrating of others. And that's where that negativity comes from. Because if you are a happy person, and if you are a confident person, and if you are not insecure, then why would you go to somebody's page to say something mean? Whether it's the body shaming, whether it's whatever it is, why would you find it appropriate to go to somebody's page to say something that is hurtful, that you wouldn't want done to yourself, unless there's something going on inside of you? Yeah.
Thank you. Ivy, I'll come to you. I think I would want you to talk about the kind of work that you do online. You're one of the people who has taken advantage of the online space and earning what we call the digital dividends. And when I look at your faces, the way the media is going right now, 5 years from now, some of us who work for the mainstream media, we're not even sure if those stations are going to be there because journalism has moved online. So I would also want to hear from you as you talk to these girls about how we can take advantage of the digital platform.
Okay. I think for social media or the digital platform, as you said, the best thing is consistency and believing in yourself and being your authentic self. It's very easy to get pulled into the rabbit hole of being like everyone else, trying to look like who and who, trying to, like, you look up to Lilian and you try to be her, yet there's no one like you. Being yourself is your superpower, So with the digital space, what I've seen is when you do what resonates with you, you'll find your tribe. Putting it simply, you'll find your tribe. People who are okay or who enjoy your content will come. People will comment, engage, and that will grow. I'm talking about consistency, and I'm actually not very consistent. I've just started making money on social media, I guess, just last year, but it's not my main source of income. So what I've seen from other content creators is just keep at it. Whatever it is, let me give an example. There's a lot of gossip blogs. There are many. They're not one, they're not two, they're like, many. So you don't have to just do gossip. You can be a political blogger, you can be a fashion blogger, you can be a food blogger. There's so many options as a journalist that you can use to, you can use a social media space to push what you want to push. You don't have to be like everyone else. The reason why I support digital data like I do is because I haven't seen anything like you or like this before, and I resonate with what you're trying to do. So yeah, I'd say just be yourself. Being authentic will always, get you where you want to go.
Speaking about gossip, when I started digital data, I remember telling my friend how you can have very good content online, but people are not consuming the content. So I remember asking a friend of mine, so what do you think I should do? She told me, you just start a gossip channel. These things you're talking about, people don't want to consume serious stuff. But I think it's a lie. Let's not buy into that narrative. Yes, gossip. Let's not lie to each other. Sometimes you go to this channel and you find yourself laughing. You need it. But that is not like the way to go. Don't sit here and wait. I remember one time we were mentoring some girls with Jerida, and one of them sent a very funny story she had done, a gossip, and we were like, oh my goodness, are we actually doing the right thing? Because this is a journalism student. So there is content to be created, and good content. Another thing I would want to also talk about content creation is, when I started digital data, it was a proposal I put through to an organization, and they actually decided to fund it. So sometimes there are organizations which are actually looking for content to fund, content that aligns with what they talk about. So to the subject of the day, online violence, which has become like the order of the day in this country, especially for women with voices like yourself. Lilian, I would want you to tell us a bit about your story on the online platform, because I know you've been bullied a lot. And ladies, I must say, you guys have thick skins. There's a time I did a video. By evening, people had said every wrong thing. I actually deleted the video at 3 a.m. in the morning. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. I'm not joking, And I said, these women, how do they do it? Because tomorrow they will wake up looking so beautiful while things are going online. So Lilian.
Mine is rough, but with time, I guess you learn how to wade through these waters that are social media hate, because for me, it's been such a journey. I don't see that anymore, but I've been very intentional as well. I had to, for me, it was so extreme. I had to do therapy at some point, because I was like, why am I even in this space? I don't want to be here. I always wake up and, just that seeking validation, it almost becomes like a desire to seek validation, because you're going through comments to look at what people are saying and quickly delete. I can actually honestly say that I haven't seen, and if it's there, it's very subtle. I haven't seen hate in a while, but like I said, it's been very intentional. So I'll give you maybe 2 examples of things that have really broken me in this space. And the first one was, so when I was pregnant with my child, my little baby, so we have a platform called View Sasa on Citizen. And so in line with the fact that there's a lot of mothers out there who don't know what to expect when you're a new mother, from lactation to just your hormones changing and everything, I decided to just go public with my pregnancy and have the entire journey documented. And, you're just in a clean, positive space. You're just creating content and you're getting paid for the content anyway. So fast forward this story. So at that time, people are excited. It's a new production. It's interesting. But then as the months went by, I was told things like, I don't even want to say it. It's funny now, but I was told things like, Connie, you think you're having baby Jesus? Why are you? Why is this baby of yours more important than other babies? And then there was the body shaming, a lot of it, until I couldn't wait to have this baby and just get small again. And, there was just a lot of that. And at some point, now that I think about it, you know how sensitive pregnancy is and how ultimately anything could happen. That's why they say pregnancy is a miracle, right from the conception to when the child is born. So when you now decide to document your pregnancy, what if something happens along the way? What if something goes wrong? So I remember when I had my baby, guys were like, oh, baby Jesus was born. And others were like, you're so lucky nothing happened to your baby. And these are things people are putting out there, as in it was rough and it was bad. And I've never ever put any of my babies online because of that. Before I used to very happily, I'm like, oh, we're out for lunch. I just stopped. That was for me, I just knew, you know what, you can attack me, but now don't start attacking he's called Liam, he's not called Jesus. So that was one. Another one, and that's why I'm saying I don't want to play victim and say there's hate out there. You also have to be very intentional about what you're putting out there, because you can also, it doesn't justify it, but to some extent you can draw attention towards your way that's that type of attention. So this one time I had a meltdown, and I'm talking to you guys because you're girls and you're sisters, you're my little sisters, and you probably have boyfriends and you probably have fights and you've had situations where you've just maybe gone online and written those scriptures people write when they've been dumped. So this guy that I loved so much did something terrible to me. And at that time I had just had my baby. And so your hormones are all over, there's just those baby blues. For those of you who, I'm sure maybe if you have babies, maybe very few of you, but I had these post-pregnancy blues and I was so down. And then this guy goes and does that thing that he did. And where was the first place I went? I went to social media and I called him a community husband. And that's a moment of rage. Nowadays I say when you're upset, please write whatever, even if it's a message you're writing to someone, write it and then read it. Write it, don't send it, read it. When you calm down, you probably won't send that message. So I did that and I put it out there and I was like, girls, don't be involved with such people, narcissists, what? Me, I'm being like a soldier for my sisters. Let me tell you, that thing went south on me. So so this is the thing. So you're in that space, perhaps you have a big following like I do. What are you doing with the content you're putting out there? Are you like a voice of reason, or are you now? I just literally I was like, what's going on? Why are people? I'm like, first of all, how has my following just shot up like that? And it shot up because of that. And so what people were saying was like, where nini umeachwa ukiachwa chika, those things. So like I said, for me, I live in a positive space where I say, okay, fine, there's trolling, but I'm just looking at it from a different perspective. Trolling, why? What type of content are you putting out there? Are you a clean, very intentional and deliberate person in terms of even some of these booty shot pictures I see guys posting and whatever? Maybe 5 years down the line, there's a picture there that will compromise you somehow. And I'm not saying live your best life. Live your best life. Just be so intentional about what you put there. I'm just saying that the trolls are there, the abuse is there, the violence is there, but there's also a responsibility on our part to just be responsible even as we post. Yeah.
I really like what you say, because as I said, we train people on digital security and we tell people, be very intentional with what you put out there. Right now you're seated on this other side. The next time you'll be seated on this other side. There are Ivy's here, there are Lilian's here, and they always say, young girls like you will always keep looking at them like, so whatever you put out there, let it be that it's content that you want people to resonate with. Also, we're human beings by the end of the day. I remember one time I did exactly that. I typed a message, I read it, and I said, let me give myself time. I actually went to the shop. Do you know I didn't buy what I was buying? I came back to send the message. Sometimes, it's a human. So I hope you don't lose sleep over it. Anyway, Ivy. Yeah, we want to hear your story.
Oh, it's my turn now.
It's your turn now. And we keep saying it's not a safe space, it's a brave space. Because talking to, sharing what you have shared, it's not easy, And we bring these stories because these are real people behind those accounts. Like you said, Lilian is real. How many of you have seen Lilian? Is this the first time? Yeah, I've seen her, so yeah. Yeah. you.